Hello everyone, how is it going? Welcome back to another video on our complete guide series, so-called series. It's not exactly a series, but yeah, I'm basically uploading videos on a particular character. Everything that you need to know about that particular character. So in today's video, we're gonna cover the character, legendary character, first legendary character in this basically video series. And the name of that character is Zatanna. All right, so there we are, Zatanna, and yeah, she is an arcane legendary character, one of the best legendary characters in the game that we have. Before we get any further in the video, I just wanted to let you know that if you're new to the channel and if you're watching this video for the first time, I would like to ask you to please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell notification for further updates on videos just like this. All right, guys. So Zatanna, arcane legendary character. So, what we're going to do in this video, if you guys are completely new to this concept, then I would like to let you know that we basically discuss everything that you need to know about the legendary character or any other character that we're going to make a video on in the coming days. We're going to talk about the artifacts, we're going to talk about the build, the stats, we're going to talk about the passives, we're going to talk about the support characters, and the other teammates that we need in order to make sure that Zatanna works perfectly fine. All right, guys. So let's begin. Let's begin with the stats. Now, uh, so the first thing you should know about the stats is Zatanna. You know what? Before we talk about the stats, let's just talk about the passives first because I think it should be in an order, and I think talking about the passives will be a much better way to start off the video. All right, guys. So Zatanna can do a lot of things. She can power steal. She can increase the damage. Give damage buffs to the entire team. She can reflect damage. She can burn the opponent. She can reduce the opponent's defense. She can do a lot of things. But the most important thing that we need Zatanna for, and the best thing that Zatanna can do is the percentage damage. Okay, so as you can see over here, 3% opponent's current health reduction on every successful special attack, maximum 30% health per opponent per battle. Okay, so the percentage damage will be maximum 30%. So that means you got to do at least 10 specials after you start burning your opponent. You first tag in Zatanna, you burn the opponent, and then you start doing these specials and she will start doing the percentage damage. Okay, and that's going to be maximum 30%, 3% each time, which means 10 specials. All right, 3% current health reduction on every successful Justice League Dark teammate special attack, maximum 10% health per opponent per battle. The same thing happens, but only for 10% for the other Justice League Dark teammates, not for any other characters, but only for the Justice League Dark, which are John Constantine and Elder Swamp Thing. Okay, these are the two other Dark Justice League Dark characters apart from Zatanna. All right, so this is a very important passive. Helps you to take down a big chunk of health out of the bosses. When you're fighting against a boss who is having more than a billion health, 1.2, 1.8, or maybe even 2 billion health, this is the character that will help you a lot with the percentage damage. Now, moving on. So now this is the second passive which we're going to talk about. It's going to give you 80% chance to steal opponent's one power bar with applying debuff. So there will be a debuff which will be applied to the opponent, which is on passive one, which we'll talk about it. What are the debuffs? But for this passive, it will be giving you an 80% chance to steal opponent's one power bar with applying debuff. 80%. Okay. And 55% team's damage for each stolen power bar, which stacks up to 300%. Now, these 300% additional damage will be for all your teammates, not just Zatanna. So let's say if you're having King of Atlantis, Aquaman, Zatanna, and Dr. Fate, then Zatanna with 300% damage, extra damage, will help a lot for King of Atlantis, Aquaman as well. So this is passive number two. Now, passive number three is all the debuffs that she can apply on the opponent. Simple as that. 50% chance to increase active opponent's cheapest special power cost by one power bar. So it's just 50% that the opponent's special, the least one, like the first special, will be increased by one power bar. Not a big thing, but might come in handy sometimes, in the raids, the solo raids. Plus 5% damage from basic attacks, reflecting back for each opponent's absent power bar. Okay, so that's something that is a bit confusing. Let me make it a bit simpler for you. So 5% damage will be taken out through reflective damage. Okay, not directly, but for through reflective, reflecting the damage back for each opponent's absent power bar. Okay, not for, when the opponent's power bar is full, this might not work. The opponent's power bar needs to be absent, like, like half of it, or maybe like at 20% or something. Minus 6% attack resistance for each accumulated opponent's power bar. Okay, I think it's pretty simple. Like, you will get minus 6% critical attack resistance for each. I mean, the opponent will get minus 6% critical attack resistance for each accumulated opponent's power bar. Might come in handy against bosses who are having increased resistance to lethal critical. I'm sorry, critical attacks, not lethal. Minus 9% opponent's defense on power drain. Obviously, it's pretty simple. Minus 15% opponent's power generation after accumulating 8 power bars. Okay, and this is max 3 stacks per each debuff. Okay, it won't go above 3 stacks. All right. So, but in order to make sure that this works, this debuffs are applied, the opponent has to be hit with a proper, with a clean special attack, 1, 2, or 3, regardless of that, any special. But make sure that the opponent is not blocking at that time. Okay, and this is when the buffs will be triggered. All right, guys. Now moving on into the stats. Now let's jump into the stats. Now we need a little bit of resistance on Zatanna, as you can see over here. There is stun attack resistance, DOT resistance, critical attack resistance, and we need to max out. Now this is like built in a completely exact way that the build guide is. I've also uploaded a build guide for Zatanna. There is a playlist as well for the build guides, other than this playlist that you're going to watch, that you are probably watching now. Yeah, we're not going to go into the gears and take a look at the proper stats, but yeah, this is the, like, just a gist for you guys to understand what you need to have on this character in order to get the most out of it. So you need to max out critical attack damage, you need to max out critical attack chance as well. Yes. Now my Zatanna is on just 4 stars, so that's the reason these stats are not maxed out. But you need them maxed out whenever in future, like after 6 months, 8 months, a year, you get to Zatanna maxed out to like at least 5 or 6 stars maybe. And try to max out CAD, CAC as well, and yeah, and fast stack chance. There is also an option for 2 fast stack hits. This cannot be increased, obviously. And then apart from that, you need to have stun attack resistance, damage over time resistance, and this is like, what we get in the talents. Let me just show it to you. This resistance to critical hit, stuns, and DOT, resistance to critical hits, stuns, and DOT. Now I don't know why armor piercing is over here. Maybe I just took it initially. So I need a critical attack damage over there. So let's just do a couple of rerolls, not more. Yeah, resistance. We need actually 3 resistances, but I'm you know what? I'm gonna take it for now. I know that it's difficult to see in an epic talent go to waste, but you need to get your character in the right build, and regardless of what epic talent you have, you need to have the right talent over there. Not just a random epic talent. That will not work. All right, guys. So we talked about the passives. We talked about the stats. Now let's talk about the artifacts. All right, guys. So there are many artifacts that you can use with Zatanna. Now, the best artifact to use with Zatanna is Zatanna's puppet, obviously. And the reason why I think Zatanna's puppet is the best artifact, because let's face it, you're just not going to use Zatanna as a single character. You will have other characters as well. So Zatanna will be the go-to character to do the percentage damage, and the percentage damage. If you want to do a percentage damage, you can either use a character that can burn by doing a special at a very low cost, or you can basically use a Zatanna's puppet artifact and get infinite power, which means you can do n number of specials without getting interrupted. Those specials are unblockable. That's the plus point. So let's take a look at Zatanna's puppet real quick. So 75% chance to apply. And 75% chance to apply and order one of the negative effects on successful specials for 23 seconds. So these are the negative effects that you can apply through Zatanna's puppet. It's burn, special attack disable, blind, tag out disable, incoming damage increase. Okay, so in order to get that percentage damage, you need to apply a burning effect on your opponent, and this is one of those artifacts which can give you the burning effect, and it can also give you a blinded opponent, and it can give you a special attack disabled. So this artifact is a very good artifact, especially for Zatanna. You can just, when the infinite power is triggered, when the infinite power is on, you can actually do like the percentage damage in like 15-20 seconds. You just keep hitting the special three, you will burn the opponent, and then you will also do a lot of percentage damage, 30% max, obviously. So yeah, this is the one of the best artifacts that you can use on Zatanna. Now, there is a second artifact that you can use on Zatanna as well, in order to. Now, where is it? Yeah, you can also use Crown of Karnak over here. Now, yes, but you can use Crown of Karnak if you're using Zatanna as a damage dealer, okay? Not as a support character. If you're using Zatanna as a support character, there is no point in using Crown of Karnak. But if you're using her as a damage dealer with the full Dark Metal, I'm sorry, Justice League Dark team, then you can think of adding Crown of Karnak as well to Zatanna. And as we all know, Crown of Karnak can give you 30% extra damage throughout the entire fight. And I think we have seen this a lot of times before. But let me just give you a quick overview of this artifact. First, 14% damage per used power bar stacks up to 30%. So that is something which is very interesting, and it gives you a chance to recover those power bars as well if your combo meter is more than 22 and a successful special attack is done. All right, so second artifact was Crown of Karnak. You can also try using dark metal cards. You can try using dark metal cards, but make sure that you do not use Nora Snow Globe, because it does not work. The percentage damage for Nora Snow Globe does not work. I haven't tried it myself. I haven't really tried it, so I don't know about that. But I think a lot of people have tried it before and with unsuccessful results. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I'm not sure about this, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I think you cannot do percentage damage with the clones of Zatanna. That's what I think. Because you cannot burn with clones, so there is no way to do the percentage damage. Okay, and then there is no point in using all blades, because all blades is one of those artifacts which is basically used for those characters with who you tag in a lot and tag out a lot to get those extra buffs, extra damage. So yeah, I mean there are a lot of other pay to win artifacts that you can use with Zatanna, but we're not going to talk about that since our concept of this video is specifically dedicated to free to play players and beginners. So I think these three artifacts, these two artifacts, and maybe you can also try using, if in case you don't have these artifacts, let's talk about the worst case scenarios. If in case you don't have these artifacts, you can go with dark metal cards to get extra damage with your critical hits, extra critical hits. And then if you don't have that as well, you can go with one of the Azure artifacts, like Claws of Horus. Please don't go with the All Blades. There is no point. Don't go with the All Blades. And you can either go with Dark Metal cards or Claws of Horus. All right. So now the best characters to use with Zatanna with. Now the best team is obviously the full set of team for Dark Justice League Dark team. I'm sorry. Which has John Constantine and Elder Swamp Thing as well. Elder Swamp Thing is a bit easier to obtain. He can help Zatanna in a number of ways. Like the infection. He can increase the damage through that. He can do a lot of debuffs as well on the opponent. So, one character, the Justice League Dark character, which is easy to obtain, is Elder Swamp Thing. If you have John Constantine, it's great. Constantine is not a best legendary character in the game. I have to say that. But yeah, with the combination of Zatanna, John Constantine, and Elder Swamp Thing, you will just be able to do a little bit more damage through the percentage damage. Okay, through taking out a big chunk of percentage out of the opponent's health. So that is really what is important. But apart from that, John Constantine, not a good legendary character in short. All right. So the other character that you can use Zatanna with, you can use Zatanna as a support character with the LOA team. You can put in Claws of, I'm sorry, you can put in Crown of Kandak on Heartbreaker Harlequin. You can put Region Matrix maybe on EPI. You can put in Zatanna's Puppet on Zatanna and do the percentage damage with Zatanna. And meanwhile, you're doing the percentage damage, you will also get 300% damage buff for the other characters in your team. Then you tag in obviously the damage dealer, Heartbreaker Harlequin. Then you start doing the damage you know and then I think apart from that, you can also use, if you're just mainly focused on doing the percentage damage, you just want to make sure that the opponent is burning and you're doing the percentage damage, then you can also try using Zatanna with Multiverse Armored Supergirl. Now Multiverse Armored Supergirl can burn the opponent, and that burn will last for a little longer than the other ways to burn the opponent. So I think if in case you are There is one way to burn the opponent. Obviously, there are many ways to burn the opponent. This is one way. It gives you 21 seconds of burning. But I think if you are using, multiverse armored Supergirl, the power cost is a bit low because this is a special three. Obviously, special one's power cost is a bit low, and it will give you much longer burning duration with multiverse armored Supergirl. And by the time the burning is over, probably you will be done with the 30% percentage damage, and then you can probably tag in multiverse armored Supergirl herself and start doing the basic damage that we usually do with a special 3. So that is another team. Now you can also use this character with the King of Atlantis Aquaman team. You can use King with, maybe, let's say, dark metal cards. You can use Zatanna's puppet, then Doctor Fate. Do the person's damage again with Zatanna, and then tag in King. Do the person's damage with King for the first 3 times, then start doing the damage with a special 3. I'm pretty sure that 300% damage buff plus the 600% damage buff which King gets in the raids will give you a huge boost in the raids and solo raids both. And let me think. Yeah, and then you can also use Zatanna with the other damage dealers. Other damage dealers means, like, you can use her with Brainiac, you can use her with Manta, you can use her with any sort of damage dealer, but make sure that you do the percentage damage always first with Zatanna, and then, and I think in that duration it's quite easy to understand that you will be giving your team a huge big damage buff as well. 300% is big, it's not less. So yeah, I mean, we literally talked about the characters as well as the gameplay, how exactly the gameplay needs to go. So yeah, I guess that's about it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you have any questions about Zatanna, do let me know, or any tips, any suggestions about the characters. I mean, I am a pro, but I don't have knowledge about every single thing. So if you have something new, or if you have something that I haven't mentioned, please let me know. Maybe I've forgotten that, so please mention in the comments, and yeah, we'll talk about it in the comments. All right, guys. So thank you for your time. You guys have a great day ahead. Take care. Be blessed and stay safe. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye.